Hi tech lovers, welcome back to Fast Cabling. Now what if I told you that the biggest headache in networking isn't about speed, latency, or budget? It's about distance. And more specifically, it's about distance combined with nothing. No power, no cables, no infrastructures, just open LAN and a very specific request. So we got a call from a client who owns this beautiful Manor, and he already has a solid surveillance system around the main house. Multiple cameras, all wired up, all working perfectly. But here's the thing, this property doesn't end at the garden gates. It stretches way out there. So he wants to install two 4K cameras 1 kilometer away from the main house. So let's break down the problem. Two 4K cameras 1 kilometer away, and the client wants all the footage streamed back to his existing system at the main house. Simple enough, right? Just run a cable. The first solution anyone think of is power over Ethernet. One single cable that carries both power and data. It's elegant, it's clean, and for most installation, it's absolutely perfect. Power and data, one wire, beautiful. But here's the problem. PoE has a hard limit. The IEEE 802.3 standard specifies a maximum distance of 100 meters. After that, the voltage drops. The signal degrades to the point where data transmission becomes unreliable. So PoE is out. Now what about fiber optics? Fiber can handle the data sides of things easily. A kilometer is nothing for fiber. But fiber carries light, not electricity, so you still need to run AC power separately. And that means trenching. Our client was very clear on this point. No trenching. He didn't want his wonderful garden dug up, and honestly, running high voltage AC power lines a kilometers across open land is expensive, complicated, and requires licensed electrician, permits, all that. So if we can't go through the ground, we have to go through the air. And this is where wireless bridges enter the story. Now some of you may be thinking, wireless for surveillance? Isn't that going to be unreliable? And that's a fair question. Let me explain how this actually works, because it's not the same as your home Wi-Fi router. Now in urban environments, wireless bridges face a serious enemy: interference. The 2.4 GHz spectrum is incredibly crowded. Wi-Fi router, Bluetooth devices, they're all fighting for the same airspace. It's like trying to have a conversation in a crowded stadium. And that's why this bridges operates on a 5 GHz frequency band. The 5 GHz spectrum is much less congested. Plus, this installation is in the countryside, on a private manor, so there's no laboring Wi-Fi blasting through the wall. The air out here is practically silent in terms of RF noise, so interference, not a concern. We have a clean, open frequency to work with. Now, at this point in the project, our client asked us a question that I think a lot of you wonder about. He asked us, if I use your wireless bridge, do I have to use your cameras too? Are there compatibility issues? Now, this is such an important question, and the answer is surprisingly simple. No. There's absolutely no brand lock-in with wireless bridges. It doesn't care about the make or the model of the devices connected to it. It's simply creating a transparent Ethernet link through the air. So yes, you can mix and match any camera's brand you want. Now, with that concern out of the way, we move forward. The setup is simple. The XX bridge connects to the existing network at the main house, and the client bridge sits at the remote location a kilometer away. Once they configured in point-to-point mode, they create that transparent link. Let's connect everything. Now, at the existing network, we have our long-range PoE switch. It provides both power and data to our wireless bridge. Connected to another switch and to our network video recorder so we can display video footage. Now let's get an Ethernet cable, plug it into one of the PoE port, and send it to our wireless bridge. This wireless bridge supports standard PoE and also DC 12 volt. Now let's take a look. It also has alignment indicated lights. Now we chose this wireless bridge because they're outdoor wireless bridge, rated for up to 5 kilometers of range. They operate on a 5 gigahertz band with a data transfer rate of up to 300 megabit per second, which is more than enough for 2 4K camera streams. They're IP65 rated, meaning they're built to handle rain, snow, wind, and extreme temperatures. And they come with 18 dBi directional antenna that creates that focus beam. But one thing you have to remember, we have to make sure there's a clear line of sight. The access bridge is going to face to the client bridge directly. And here's the detail that made this the perfect fit for our scenario. This model has 2 Ethernet ports because we need to connect to 2 cameras at the remote location, not just one. So with dual ports, both cameras plug directly into the bridge. It's simpler and cleaner. So the data problem is solved. But remember, we still have no power out there. And this is where things get interesting. Where there's no power grid available, the most practical in an outdoor remote location is solar. A solar power system has 3 core components. The solar panel, which captures the sunlight and converts it into electricity. The charge controller, which regulates the power coming from the panel and manages the charging of the battery. And the battery itself, which stores energy so the system can operate at nights and during cloudy days. Now we're using a 12 volt system for a very specific reason. Everything at the remote site is designed to run on a 12 volt DC. The 2 bullet cameras are 12 volt, the wireless bridge accepts 12 volt DC inputs alongside standard PoE. So we use our charge controller's output terminal connects directly to these 3 devices. Now let's do it. So the first step is to connect our solar panel to the charge controller. It's simple, there's positive and negative, so just push it all the way in. Now the charge controller is the brain of the entire power system. A solar panel doesn't produce a steady constant voltage. It fluctuates based on sunlight intensity, temperature, and the angle of the sun throughout the day. So if you connected a solar panel directly to the battery, you risk overcharging it when the sun is strong. So that's why we connect it to a charge controller. It sits between our solar panel and the battery. Now we plug in the cable of the battery. Now it continuously monitors the battery's voltage and adjusts the charging currents accordingly. So this is the output of the charge controller. We split the power into 3 so we can support 3 devices. Our 2 bullet cameras at 12 volt DC, and also our wireless bridge as well. Let's use the DC to power this up. Now we powered everything. And let's get the Ethernet cable and get all this data back to our XX bridge. Now plug in the 2 Ethernet cable to our client bridge here. Make sure you face it back to the XX bridge and connect them to our bullet cameras. So the setup is done. Now we can move on to our big screen monitor and check out the live video feed. Now make sure you face it directly with clear line of sight. Now, before we wrap up, there's one more thing I want to mention. When you're designing a solar-powered system, you need to think about power budget. It's exactly what it sounds like. You calculate how much power all your devices consume, and then you size your solar panel and battery to meet that demand with enough headroom for cloudy days. And here's a recommendation that might save you a lot of headaches. Add a voltage regulator. A voltage regulator ensures a clean, stable output voltage regardless of what's happening on the input side. It takes the variable voltage from the charge controller and locks it at a precise 12 volts. This protects your cameras and your wireless bridge from voltage spikes and dips that could cause damage. So that's the project. If you've ever had to solve a similar problem, or if you are planning an installation like this, we'll love to hear about it. Drop your questions in the comment section below, and please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll see you in our next video.